Hey everyone, and welcome to Post to Post. Thanks for joining me today. My name's Neil, if you're new, and today we are going to look at, we're going to react to some jersey concepts. These are done by Jason Glista. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, Jason, but thank you so much for sending these in. I really appreciate it. I did look at one, and it was a while ago, it was months ago, and I don't remember what one it was. So we are going to see these for the first time, you and I, and then at the end of the video, we're going to rank them. So this is the Jersey Concept Reaction Series. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button and join me every Monday, every typical Monday and every typical Friday. I'm releasing this on a Tuesday, which is not typical. It's because trade deadline day was yesterday, and I did a trade deadline day recap video. So if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. Otherwise, let's look at some of these concepts. If you guys want to come up with your own, you can go to sportstemplates.net and then use code POST2POST to save yourself 10% and get this exact jersey template. If for some reason you already have it, or maybe don't want to do a jersey concept, maybe you want to do a helmet concept or branch out into other sports and do some football designs and some baseball designs and basketball courts. There are all kinds of different templates that you can use and choose from and just have fun and play around with your creativity. It doesn't have to be hockey. And if you want to come up with a bunch of designs from a league and have me review them or rank them or react to them, whatever is your preference, usually, I will do that. And I can share it with the community. It's a great way to have some fun and talk about sports, talk about design, logos, and design theory, and also get your name out there as a designer. Maybe you're looking to make a name for yourself. And so, for example, if you are the concept designer and you make a comment linking your social media and maybe your design portfolio, I will pin it so everybody can see it. And that way you win, I win because I get to have some fun looking at your concepts, and the viewers win because I get to see something that maybe they never thought that they'd ever see. And they look at it and like, wow, that's an amazing jersey, or that's an amazing logo. So it's a very fun series, and I appreciate all my viewers and loyal followers of this series. It's one of the more popular on the channel for sure. So let's get into it. Like I said, these are by Jason. Jason, thanks for sending these in. We'll start off with Anaheim. These are done by abbreviation in alphabetical order, and I'm using official NHL abbreviations. Calgary is not CAL, it's CGY. Montreal is MTL, not MON. Official NHL abbreviations. Anaheim's first. Okay. Ironically, last video, I think I commented on the Anaheim jersey using black as the primary color, as the main color, and saying, that doesn't really happen that often while wearing an Anaheim Ducks black jersey. I meant in a concept world. So most people actually don't use black as the first color or the primary color when designing Anaheim Ducks concepts. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. And it's just kind of ironic that 2 videos in a row, now we've seen that. And this is a decent one. I actually really like this. I think this is the one that I vetted maybe when you first sent these in. So I feel like I've seen it before. Either that, or it does look kind of or quite similar to some other concepts I've seen in the past from other designers. Nothing wrong with that. That's almost a compliment because it shows that a lot of people are thinking the same way. A lot of people like the same things. And much like them, I like this as well. So good job, Jason. This is a really good start to the series. Let's see what's next. It should be Arizona, and it is Arizona. Ooh, oh, look at those. The bottom of the sleeves, taking from the state flag and making it just a part of the arm. I like that. And then taking the patch that they have used in the past, removing some elements, but adding the C in there for a captain, and then using this logo here, actually, that's on my hat, as a shoulder patch, and then that other shoulder patch that they use too. So this is a really interesting design. Kind of goes back to their previous home primary jersey that they, I guess, don't really use anymore, other than a couple of games. The only small bit of criticism I have is that your numbers are a little bit too low on the arms. Typically, we would not see numbers right on the elbow, a movement part of the arm. That's why all the numbers, 99% of the jerseys are up here. There are only a couple of jerseys that actually exist that use the numbers on the arm. I think it was the Chicago Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey, or maybe it was just a patch that was there, and the LA Kings Reverse Retro. That uses numbers on the elbow. But something we typically don't see in the NHL, and especially not in a jersey like this where the number is not really falling on anything. It's just a bunch of empty space. Small little criticism. Boston Bruins. Heck yeah. The first thing I noticed is very simple, classic, respectful striping. That matches their brand. That's amazing. The numbers in the back of the neck match the years that they've won the Stanley Cup. The numbers are in a perfect spot. The laces are nice. I like to see laces on the original 6 teams' jerseys. even though it doesn't really make sense. Still, it feels proper. It feels right. And then the logos that you have on the shoulders they don't feel like patches. They almost look like they're screen printed in there. And that I'm completely okay with that, and I'm completely okay with how big they are as well, because usually we don't see shoulder patches that big or anything on the shoulder that big, but because they're so they're at like 5% transparency or 10% transparency, they're really blacked out on the shoulders. It doesn't draw as much attention to them as it would if they were, fully colorized and stuff. So just having them there, just lurking in the background, I think is okay. And then the logo that you chose for the front, would love to see that on an actual jersey. This is very nice, Jason. Next is Buffalo. This one is going to be a miss for me. I knew right away when I saw it, just based on yellow and blue do look good together, but in this fashion, it just doesn't for me personally. I think I would have preferred to see the shoulder or the yellow kind of stop at that hard angle along the shoulders and have the arms be blue like the rest of the jersey. That's just a personal preference. I'm sure there's lots out there who would see this and be like, wow, that's the best Buffalo Sabres jersey I've ever seen. Smart move with the goat head, putting the goat head on there and recolorizing it. Love that decision. Carolina is next, and like the logo in the front. Something that I've noticed that you've been doing is not using symmetrical shoulder patches. Usually that's kind of a no-no, but I think it's been okay in every design that I've seen from you so far. So no super criticism there. Your texture and your striping is a bit angled here. I don't know if it actually is in their actual striping. I'm trying to think. I don't think it is, but it works because of that logo almost has a shear to it, and it kind of matches that angle in a way. It looks to be off by maybe just a degree or two, but I do like that. It adds a bit of motion to the jersey and stuff. So not my favorite Carolina concept that I've seen, but still quite nice. Columbus. Okay, hold on. There's a lot going on here. Chevrons on the arms. I like that. I love that, actually. Using off-white, another brilliant decision. The CBJ on the shoulder with the stars in between. I've never seen that before, and that looks really good on the shoulder. The Ohio State flag in the back of the neck, and kind of a collar that's very representative of a possible uniform that the Blue Jackets would have worn way back on in war times, and based on what the team is recognized for. And then I don't know what's going on in that other shoulder patch. It looks like it's potentially a cannon or something. Or a hat? Is that a Davy Crockett hat? I'm not sure what that is, but this is a nice jersey. This is one of the best Columbus Blue Jackets concepts that I've ever seen. Calgary. Heck yeah, this is awesome. I love the decision that Calgary made to go to the retro. I know some of you don't. I do. I also am one of those people that like to see provincial and state flags on the shoulders, which Calgary did use in their previous home jersey, and Jason's carried that over to the retro version of this, which is great. I like that. Even the Calgary font or type that's being used in the back of the neck is something that they've used in the past. They used to have that on the front of a jersey, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of really cool elements being combined here. The Blasty logo that's on the stripe on the arm, which is great. And then the subtle flames in the bottom of the arm. Usually I don't really like that. It feels a bit cheesy, but it's so subtle here, and it kind of fits. So this is a nice modern take at a retro style jersey. Chicago is next. Hey, you know what? I've seen so many city inspired Chicago jerseys recently that it's kind of nice to see something different. However, it's a nice little touch to the city and the city flag in the back of the neck and the collar, like in the back of the city skyline with the color of the flag. That is a wonderful little touch. I love that attention to detail. Those stars on the shoulder look pretty good, but I think in this scenario, this is maybe the first one that I've seen where I would say kind of a no-no for the shoulders, because those stars reach from almost the neck all the way down to the shoulder curve. It crosses too much of a distance compared to the logo on the other side. It's a small, their actual logo on there. The sizing is off. I know that altogether the stars take up less space, but because they're spaced out, it looks like it's bigger. So I would maybe mimic those stars on the other side, possibly. I think that would look pretty good. I like the fact that you went with a secondary logo on the front. That looks really good. And using an off-white and using black as the backing or primary color, love that decision. So Jason, I'm super impressed so far. I think the only one I didn't really like was the Buffalo one. So you're on pace for a good track record. Next is Colorado. Man, heck yeah, that's awesome. I think the shade of blue that you're using, they've maybe not identically used in the past. It looks a little light. Could be mistaken. Could be my screen as well. But it does still look good. It still looks really good. The striping in behind, I personally prefer those to line up. So the ones on the arms are a bit lower. If we could just scooch those up just a little bit, or scooch the one in the middle of the jersey down, have the numbers bump up too, maybe, but you got the Colorado State flag on there. You brought back the foot patch on the other shoulder. Love that decision. And then the subtle kind of mountain range in the bottom of the jersey. I really like this. Really good job. Dallas is next. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Staged striping to almost mimic a gradient in a way, but not really. And what you've done with the logo, taking the kind of, not the highlights, but the mid-range shadows on the logo and changing it from a gray to match the color of the rest of the jersey, using that kind of gold or deepish yellow, deepish yellow. I think that looks pretty good. The laces to kind of match the stripes along the bottom. That's a really nice balancing touch. The numbers having a bit of a stroke or a drop shadow on there to almost mimic the Rangers jerseys in a way. That looks really good. On black, would love to see a Dallas alternate jersey with black, not the neon one, just a regular alternate. And my favorite part of the jersey is the Texas State flag, not just plopped on there like a patch, but actually having motion to it and movement. I really like that. It's definitely not my favorite Stars jersey concept I've ever seen, but it's very nice because it's so different, and I think there's a lot of potential here. So really good job. I like seeing new stuff like this. Detroit is next. Oh, the octopus on the shoulder. You know what? That's a nice little touch. And using the off-white is decent. I think this does match their brand quite well. And using the off-white would kind of work with an alternate jersey because it is an original 6 team. Usually the off-whites look good with those original 6 teams. Not sure if I'm sold on that octopus patch though. But one thing that, two minor gripes. The little piece right here, and I know the template isn't perfect when it comes to colorizing that specific section, but I would make that red. It's just a bit of a standout because it almost comes up like a claw, being the off-white. So I would probably colorize that red like the rest of the jersey. And what you've done with the logo in the back of the collar, having the Red Wings logo kind of mirrored horizontally, it makes sense, but it kind of looks odd to me just because I'm so used to seeing that logo as it is in the front of the jersey. So I'd probably nix that and fix the red. Otherwise, I really like this jersey a lot. Edmonton is next. All right, so you know what? This is an example of taking a jersey that kind of already exists, making some little minor tweaks. I wouldn't say that it's better, but it's definitely not worse. I like the oil drops on the stripes on the arms. That is complementary and balances the logo in the middle. The Alberta State flag in the back of the neck, I really like that touch. Not sure if I'm sold on the shoulder design and the shoulder patch. It almost looks not so much like a cog in the middle, but a horseshoe. And I know that the oil drop is the negative space in between there, but the way that it's kind of tapered off at the top, it makes it look like a horseshoe versus a cog. So, just a minor nitpicky thing, but still a nice decision here, taking a jersey that already exists and just making some tweaks on it. Florida. Ugh. You know what? I don't know about this. I'm a bit torn on this. I'm not sure how this would look on the ice. That is a bit of a muddy color. And, I guess it does make sense. It is a color that they have used in the past, not as a primary, but as a complementary color or a tertiary color. And to see it as used as a primary is odd. But when you think about Florida, I think about, well, what's in Florida? Beaches. Well, what color are beaches? Kind of this color. So it does kind of make sense with their locale, but it is still muddy. I love the fact that you have the Florida State flag just very transparent in the stripe. I think that is a very nice touch. I would move those stripes up again to kind of match like the one before. So I think this would match their brand, but I'd maybe have to see this one in uniform or see it in person to really get behind it. But I really like the attempt here. Next is LA. Ooh, look at the texture in the bottom of the jersey, in the bottom of the arms and the stripe. It's very regal, which obviously makes sense to the team, and it's replicated again in the back of the neck. Wow. This is interesting. I would say that the middle stripe in the bottom feels a bit out of place, and only because of the texture. I think having the sleeves go all the way down to be purple and coming over into the yellow feels like it's, I don't know, it just doesn't meld. You could move the stripe down, but then you'd be stuck with this big circular, shape in the middle of yellow, which could be potentially a no-no. I'd have to see it to kind of think about it, but I feel like that stripe maybe should come down. The shoulder patch is so intricate and interesting. I really, really like that. Colorized using the original colors. This is a strong concept. Numbers feel a little bit low, but like I said, on the LA Reverse Retro, they do use the numbers on the elbow, so I can't really take any marks off there for you. But this is a strong concept. I would like to see some tweaks, but this is nice. I like this. Next is Minnesota. Ooh, using 2 shades of green here, and it kind of works. The red sun in the logo is distracting me pretty heavily. It does balance very well with the back of the neck and the trees, because those are also red. But I have to think about a player wearing this and just seeing this big, basically red eye or red dot in the middle of the jersey. It kind of looks like a clown nose, and I know it's obviously not in the right part of the head of the bear here to be a nose, but it's still, when if I look off to the side in my peripheral vision, it just looks like this big, like, honker. So, yeah, I don't know about that. The rest of the jersey I do like, but that red dot is kind of getting me. Montreal is next. Ooh. Yes. Okay. I think maybe the shade of blue is a bit off. It doesn't totally complement that color of maroon, but the off-white is perfect. Having that logo in the stripe is great. So maybe just tweaking that blue just a little bit in this jersey could be amazing, using the old school logo that they've used in the past on the shoulder. This is really great, and some of the criticism that I gave in the previous jerseys about having the stripe kind of match the same horizontal plane in the middle as of the arms, he's fixed here. However, he has run into a problem which is, I guess, unavoidable if you're going to do that, and maybe that's why some concept designers don't blame them, is the numbers feel very squeezed in the top of the shoulder or the bottom of the shoulder here. So I understand this decision why some concept designers don't do it, but I would prefer to have the stripe on the same horizontal level. So I like this one a lot. Usually I'm critical of Montreal designs. I like this one a lot, Jason. Next, New Jersey Devils. Wow. This is great. This is really great. Wow.
Nice.
You know what? This may be the best black New Jersey Devils concept that I've ever seen. It is so clean. Look at the shoulder patch. It matches the deepness and intensity of the logo so well. I don't like the green in the back of the neck. I understand it, but I don't think it matches the rest of the jersey very well. I would just keep that black. Screw their history. No offense, New Jersey Devils, but this is a very modern and kind of sleek jersey. It doesn't need the green in the back, but man, the rest of this jersey is awesome. I love this. This is really nice. It's, black is simple and stuff, and there's not a lot of striping going on, but it's just so stealthy and kind of intimidating. I really like this a lot. Nashville is next. Subtle stars on the shoulders. That is a plus. I like that. Having the NP here, I think, is maybe a bit of a no-no for me personally. It doesn't balance well because of the C, and it's almost too small. You'd have to almost be right up on the jersey to really see what it was. I think from far away it might look like, how some news anchors wear like a lapel mic, or like a mic with a big dead cat on it, or a big fluffy thing. I don't know. I think it maybe looked like that from a distance, like they had a mic clipped on or something. But Yeah, I'd probably remove that to be honest. I like the arms using the striping as strings in the guitar with the pick on there. We have seen that in the past from a couple of designers, and that's a really good decision. I like that. This is definitely one of the better Nashville concepts I've seen. Like I said, probably just remove that. Islanders. Oh baby. Oh wow. Okay. This this is shocking to my body. This is amazing. I love this. Using the darker shade of blue. Okay, that's a really good decision. Kind of like the reverse retro. Using the that 4-sectioned patch, I guess you could call it. They used it on the shoulder years and years and years ago. But making it bigger and putting it on the bottom of the arms, and then having a couple of more down in the bottom of the middle of the jersey, and using the NY logo, which typically I don't like, but having those notches as well in that logo really balances everything. This is very good. The back of the neck using the lighthouse and those light beams going across, that's awesome. Both shoulder patches make sense, especially the one that's actually their logo. My only small little critical gripe is right here, where this orange stripe comes across, which looks really good. That balances those notches as well on the bottom of the jersey so well. But having that just negative space of the blue, where the blue continues up and makes that, again, that claw motion, and it could be a delimitation of the template as well. But if that was colorized just to continue that orange stripe across into the shoulders, that could be perfect. This is one of the best Islanders concepts I've ever seen, and I'm typically not a fan of that primary logo. So this is a huge win for me, Jason. Good job. Rangers are next. Hey, listen. Rangers love the Lady Liberty. Most of us hockey fans and jersey lovers also love Lady Liberty. Love to see it. Using off-white, this is pretty much the perfect Liberty alternate jersey. Small criticism, neck feels a little bit too thick because it's thicker than the red stripe at the bottom of the jersey, and difficult to combat that because of the thickness of that actual stripe up here, or that section. What you may have to do is just literally split that into two and have the top part of that section be the same color as a small little section here, just to kind of make it look like that red stripe is a bit thinner. But I'm getting very critical here. Next is Ottawa. Ooh, I'm going to say that this does not look like an NHL jersey. It reminds me of an OHL jersey. I can't think of the team, but it might be the London Knights, and I know the London Knights don't use this color combination clearly, but the jersey design reminds me, I feel like it reminds me of that, and possibly the Halifax Mooseheads of the QMJHL. Just having this here and they're being red. I'm getting a bunch of vibes from different teams and different leagues here. Love the texture in the neck, love the texture in the black in the bottom of the jersey, in the arm. Having a bit of an angle in that section too by the elbows is nice. Having the numbers in that gold, but having the C in a different color, I've never typically been a fan of that. So I would probably make the numbers white and then make the C white as well. It just kind of feels off balance to me, but I love the shoulder patches. I love the back of the neck. This is I would say an above average concept for Ottawa. Philadelphia Flyers. What do we got? Ooh, we got a classic jersey. Now, the Flyers are not an Original Six team. However, I do get Original Six vibes from this. They are one of the older teams in the NHL, coming in around 1967 or 68, whenever it was. But this I get a very old vibes from this, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean that as a compliment. They're an old team, and this looks like something they would have worn 50 years ago or whenever. So I actually really like this concept. I wouldn't say really like. I like this concept. The orange is a little deeper, a little less saturated than their normal orange, which goes in line with the general jersey design and its classicness. So it works. It would be a nice, respectful alternate. Not my favorite that I've ever seen, though. Pittsburgh. Speaking of teams from the 60s, Pittsburgh Penguins. That is the original logo, if I'm not mistaken, or a version of it. Not colored like that, but similar. The shoulder patches, that's my favorite logo from their history. The striping, because it's so busy and it's bright, it's white and it's yellow and it's on black. The rest of the jersey is black. It feels it doesn't feel like a stripe. It feels like almost like whoever's wearing this is in karate, and they've got this big giant thick belt on. I know obviously the karate ones are thinner, but maybe it's not martial arts, maybe it's something else. I don't know what it is, but I have this vision in my head of someone wearing silk and having like this big giant thick belt kind of going around. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Maybe it's from a movie, maybe it's from a cartoon. I don't really know. Maybe it's Aladdin. I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like a natural stripe or I don't know. It feels out of place for me, so this one's probably a miss. San Jose is next. Ooh, staged gradient along the bottom. Black along the bottom as well. Does complement the neck. The California state flag represented at the back of the neck. I would say that this is a pretty average jersey. Definitely not my favorite. I think the teal with the darker teal kind of... They do look okay together on the bottom of the jersey. I'm not sure how I feel about up top, though. This one's probably a miss for me as well, to be totally blunt. St. Louis is next. I think this one's going to be a miss for me as well. I think, yeah, I don't know. This is a very typical design that we've seen from the St. Louis Blues, but I think I prefer it colorized differently. There's nothing wrong with this jersey. It's a fine jersey. There's nothing totally crazy wrong with it or anything like that. It just simply, I don't know, it just doesn't get me going. I just think I prefer other colorizations of this with the red kind of implemented in here, more so than this. But if this existed, it's a fine jersey. I think a lot of people would like it. Tampa Bay. Wow. I don't know if this would actually work in the NHL as maybe as a specialty jersey. And I like what you did here. I like bringing some personality and some life into the organization, into an alternate jersey. I think it might be a little bit too apparent, though. Maybe a more subtle approach, using the same idea but more subtle approach, could be more realistic. I don't know if this would actually work or get created. I mean, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10, but I would say not super realistic. Next is the Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs. This is what I would consider pretty much a perfect retro jersey for the Maple Leafs. Using an off-white because original 16, using a very simple design at the bottom of the jersey, something I've seen similar from others. I like that a lot. And just using a very basic logo on the shoulder, which they have used. You got 1917 in the back of the neck, using some St. Pat's colors. I'd probably remove that. And yeah, I mean, to me, this is miles better than the reverse retro. So wonderful job, Jason, on this. Wonderful job. Vancouver. What you got for me, Vancouver? You got an orca on the arms. You got the skate logo. You've got everything recolorized. You've got laces that are red, yellow, and black. The back of the neck to kind of match. Those laces, I think, gotta go because they don't match anything other than the back of the neck, and you ain't gonna see that if anyone's wearing the jersey. So those laces are really gonna feel out of place. I would just make those white or colorize them with the rest of the jersey. The orca on the arm feels a little cartoony. Can't totally see it, but it does feel a bit cartoony. I think I would remove that from the arm. Striping is fine. I like the skate logo colorized like that. Shoulder patches are very symmetrical. This jersey balances well. So yeah, I would say average jersey with some tweaks could be very good. Vegas Golden Knights. You got the tower texture along the bottom, using the alternate logo as the primary here. You got a new patch on the shoulder to offset the shape of the primary logo that they use, which is nice. I think the bottom of the jersey is just a little bit too busy for me personally. I prefer them using that texture a little bit more subtly and not so in your face. It's Vegas. It's an in your face team, and I get that. But from a consumer's perspective of jerseys, a jersey collector, this one would probably not make it into my collection, other than the fact that I've already committed to buying every single jersey that the Vegas Golden Knights come out with. But that would be the only reason that I would get it. Winnipeg. Oh, snap. Okay, hold on. You've done something very good here. Remember the criticism of the Nashville jersey, the N and the P, and it was a bit distracting? You've used the same method by putting the actual Jets logo in the same position, but you've made it look like it's been screen printed, or it's, you know, it's transparency is 15% or 10%, which makes it not so apparent from further away. Looks really good up close, but you don't really notice it from far away. So awesome decision. This looks like a jersey, exact same jersey that they would have worn in the 80s. And this is perfect. Not typically a fan of textual style fonts like that, but it makes sense in this sense. Makes sense in this sense? Does that make sense? Anyways, I really like this. Good job. And then the last one is the Washington Capitals. Whoa! Wow. Using the deep red with the deep blue, matching some elements that they've used in the past with the W and the stars, and some wonderful, wonderful arm stripes there. Very classic. Washington's not an incredibly old team, but this jersey makes it feel like they are, and I'm okay with that. And you know what? This works. I like this quite a bit. It's very simple. This would be a great alternate jersey. I like this more than their alternate that they came out with a couple of months ago. So great job, Jason. Now I'm going to go back through these and pick my top 5 and let you know. So just give me a couple of minutes and I'll be right back with you. All right, decisions have been made. I have a top 5 for you guys. In 5th position, I am putting the Toronto Maple Leafs. The reason it's in the top 5 is because this jersey kind of already exists in the reverse retro. And what Jason's done here is a better version of that. When you can take a jersey that already exists, that has issues, and make it better, and make it way better, in my opinion, that's a win for me. So it had to be my top 5. I really like this one, and I wish that it existed. In 4th position, I'm putting the New Jersey Devils. Maybe a first in my series in putting the Devils in the top 5. It is, this is a very simple jersey. There's nothing crazy modern about it, but it feels aggressive because it's so black. Everything's kind of blacked out, and the red and the black complement each other so well. One of the best New Jersey Devils concepts in black that I've seen. Number 3, I put the Washington Capitals, the one we just saw recently. I just love how subtle this jersey is. There's nothing, there's nothing crazy going on in this jersey. Just some old school striping, old school logo, some deep colors. I think this would look so good in uniform. So great job on this one, Jason. Number 2, put the Islanders. Probably another record here, having the Islanders in the top 5 or the top 3 or the top 2. But this was phenomenal. I really, really like it. Other than this little tiny, nitpicky thing here, perfect. I really, really like it a lot. And number 1, which it is no stranger to being one, I usually rank Columbus pretty high. I love their, their graphical assets that they have, and jersey concept designers use those so well. And this is a really good example of that. The cannon logo, which is, everyone loves the cannon. You got the chevrons on the arms, which is something that is very, very common in the jersey concept world, and I love it. I love when concept designers do that. So he's got that. He's got other elements as well, like just making this unique, just making the collar unique, putting a new shoulder patch on there, having the Ohio State flag in the back of the neck, using off-white. Just a lot of really, really smart decisions here. And that star that's right in the middle, I didn't mention it when I first looked at this jersey, and I think I didn't notice it because of the stars on the neck. It balances out very nicely. And when you think about the Blue Jackets, you think about uniforms. Well, what's on uniforms? Well, typically you have a button-up kind of style uniform in the middle, and that almost kind of represents a button. So that's probably why I didn't notice it, but it is something that I appreciated after the fact, and I think it works here. Jason, great job. Would love to know how you guys feel about these jersey concepts. Do you love them? Do you not like them? Which was your favorite? Which was your least favorite? If you want to rank them all down below in the comments, you can. And I'm very curious to see what you guys think of this. There's so many different designs in this one. It's hard to kind of gauge what people are going to think. Obviously, everyone has different personal preferences and stuff. But would love to know what you think of these concepts. Hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Would love it if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll catch you this coming Friday for another one of these videos. All right, take care. Adios.